Hey, how's it going? Hi, Phoebe. Hello. I have a new friend for this live stream. Yeah. My normal Narzi. She's been featured in one other video, but I don't know. Kind of felt like she didn't have enough airtime, so I have brought her back. Hello, Kyle, Jonathan, Stella. Okay, so, hi Nicole. I'm gonna put a question in the chat, and then I'm putting in the chat so that if anybody joins after, they'll know what's happening. Idea. Okay, and then while you're answering, I'm gonna put the raccoon on. Okay.
maraschino cherries, made her run. No one had a run like Mom's. No one.
Okay. Thank you to the 3 of you that have thought about where you would like to be. Yellowstone sounds amazing. Haven't been, but I've been to Yosemite, and that was pretty amazing. Lake Tahoe, love Lake Tahoe. I think when I thought about this question for myself, 2 places came to mind. Hawaii, when I stayed at the Aulani Resort when I went to Hawaii for the first time a few years ago. And I think what I like about it is just that, like, it just feels like a slower pace of life. And I think, like, now, I don't know, I always feel like I make myself sound like really old when I say this, but like I really just, having like finished all the college stuff and there's always something I have to do, and I'm just like always rushing to do this and that, whatever. I really just appreciate a slower lifestyle, just living a slower pace. And I feel like Hawaii is kind of like, it's like the people there embody like a slower pace of living. Like New York City would just stress me out if I lived there, because people are just living so fast, and it's just too fast, stresses me out. The other place I thought of was Canterbury, town in England that I stayed in for a little bit years ago. And when I think of Canterbury, what stands out in my mind is how, like, in the center of town, the streets are cobblestone. So first it kind of just has that, older vibe to it, cobblestone streets and whatnot. And even though it is a street, because it's cobblestone, like, cars don't really drive on it. It's really meant for walking. So people just walk in the streets. So it's like the middle of the town is like really just a walkable area of the town. And it just feels like you're, I don't know, it feels pretty quaint, I guess. Like, You walk in the streets. There's little shops on either side of you and stuff like that. So yeah, I like Canterbury. Oh, that is so cool, Owen. To live so close to a national park. Yeah, Stella, I really, like, the weather's been so nice. Like, I want to go hiking and just be able to, like, walk around freely without having to think about a mask or staying away from people or whatever. Yeah. Yellowstone is the one that you have to, like, be careful about bears, right? I mean, I guess it's, like, every national park, but, like, isn't Yellowstone, like, particularly? I don't know. Maybe I'm just making this up. I thought I heard something like that. Oh, but you know what I do know about Yellowstone? It's this thing I used to teach my 7th graders when they were learning their ecology unit last year. Pretty sure it was the Yellowstone area, but so there used to be like wolves. I mean, there are still now, but like back in the 1900s, like the 1950s or something, you know, wolves were common and abundant in the Yellowstone area, and then the people that, like the farmers that like moved to that area and they started to like develop that area, they like didn't like the wolves because the wolves would like, you know, attack their livestock and stuff like that. And so the farmers would get mad and they started hunting down the wolves to protect their livestock. And so they hunted the wolves almost to extinction, and the wolves just left that area. And then because the wolves left, the deer population just completely multiplied because they lost their predator. And so the deer population just skyrocketed, and they started like grazing and eating literally everything. They ate everything. And because they just grazed down the entire area, they changed the deer like changed the course of the river. So because like, you know, like the banks of the river have like, you know, plants and stuff like that kind of help keep the river like in its place, like keep it in its lane and everything. And because the deer like just ate everything, there weren't like as much plants and shrubbery to kind of like help guide the river. So the river just kind of like took a different direction and left the area. And then it made the area where the farmers were and the wolves had been driven out, it made the area like really dry. And then what do you think happened? A giant fire. So there's a giant forest fire, and it like destroyed everything. And forest fires became really common and everything, and it was like a real issue. And then some like ecologists later were like, well, you need to keep the deer population in check via their natural predator, the wolves. And so they like slowly like they reintroduced wolves back into the area, and then like the ecosystem basically got like restored, and the river came back and everything. It was like back in like a harmony. And yeah, that's what I know about Yellowstone. Which I guess is like a fitting story for our current unit, because I mean, like, you know, it's just kind of like another example of, I'm sure, like, you know, I'm not saying like the farmers were bad people. I don't think I genuinely think that they didn't think they were, you know, doing something that was going to be such a big deal. But I think this is just like another example of how human beings make changes to pre-existing ecosystems, and those changes can have like really drastic and sometimes negative impacts, and can just like change a whole bunch of other things. Okay, so really quickly, just want to make sure that y'all just like know that this is here. Like, because I know like some people, when this first went live, some people had emailed me saying, I don't know where the link is, I can't find it. It's here at the very top of your homepage, the very first thing. And it's also, wait for it. It's also here, okay? The agenda for Friday, the 8th, which is tomorrow, is kind of like the due date of your Unit 6 and 7 notebook check. Obviously, if you submit it afterwards, it's not like you're gonna get points taken off for being late, and it's not like I'm gonna say like, no, I'm not grading this. The point is that Mr. Wang and I just don't want everything to be coming in all at the same time. That's just a lot of work for us just to have like be bombarded by 100 and something videos all at once. So we're trying to stagger out our work a little bit by having you turn it in now, because I mean, theoretically, you should have been done with Unit 6 and 7 for a long time. You should have been done with it before you even started seeing my face, because I came at the beginning of Unit 8. So, yeah. Oh, also, I put up a little Mother's Day video. You should watch it. It's really cute. It's a pretty old video, so you actually might have seen it already. It's by Jubilee, and it's just a really cute Mother's Day video. So, you know, watch it, cry, show your mom. And yeah, for your video, just make sure, really make sure about this, because I really don't want to, like, you know, I know like a video of that length might take a long time to load and everything. I don't want you to have to do it again. You need to make sure that it's clear enough that I could read what's happening in your video. Like, I could pause the video and then like actually read it. Because I need to be able to see what's happening in the, because it's not just like, okay, like you just flip through a bunch of stuff and I can't really see it. I need to be able to verify, like, okay, you did this assignment and you actually, like, you know, did it decently. You know, like you actually put some effort into it, and that's how you'll get like the full points for that assignment. So yeah, just make sure it has to be very clear, like zoomed in enough that I can read it. You don't have to really talk over the video, maybe just like a little bit saying, like, you know, you're kind of just narrating for me so that I'm not totally confused when I'm looking at it. Like, okay, here is, you know, the assignment sheet for Unit 6, and then here's assignment 1, blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty good at reading bad handwriting. I've developed that skill. I worked with 7th grade boys. They have the worst handwriting of all. So I'm sure you're fine. But, you know, if that's the case, you know, for good measure, that's where narrating might be helpful. Like, you tell me, like, you know, here's assignment 1 and blah, blah, blah. I would say do include the assignment sheet at the beginning of the unit that you're going to start showing me. So, like, if you're starting to show me stuff about assignment 6, show me the assignment sheet. Like, here's my completed assignment sheet for Unit 6, and then you start with assignment 1, assignment 2, whatever. I would prefer that you go in order, like numerical order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, not, you know, 2, 6, 9, 3, or something like that. But, you know, if you do it out of order, it's fine. I won't take points off. It'll just take me a little longer. Phoebe, I put it on YouTube, then deleted it off my mom's phone. Is that fine? Or do I need to somehow find it and upload it on the drive? I think that's fine. Just like in the part of the form that says, you know, paste the link for the whatever, just paste the YouTube link and I'll find it. Yeah, it should be fine. If it isn't, I don't know, I'll let you know something. But I think for now, don't do anything else. Are there any other questions about the notebook checks? Anything that's happening for the next 3 weeks? Because you only have 3 more weeks of school. 1 more week of like actual school, and then like 2 more weeks of other stuff. Questions? No questions? That's okay. Well, what do you mean by a picture? Like, my husband is doing dishes and he's dropping everything. I think it's fine, you know, if you didn't print something out or you lost a picture or it's somewhere else, I think that's fine. All right, cool. Well, if you think of a question at any point, you know, put it in the chat. I'll eventually see it and answer it. But can I resubmit? And part of it is kind of, yeah, you can, sure, yeah, you can resubmit it. So, who did their trash audit and finished their trash audit yesterday or today? Because I did my trash audit this past week. I finished it today. I looked through my collection right before I got online with 5th period. Anyone? No? You didn't do it? It's fine. Okay, well, if any of you did do it and you're just a little shy right now, or you're, you know, away from your computer at the moment, so you don't hear me, go ahead and put in the chat, oh yay! Thank you, Stella. Go ahead and put in the chat just some of the things that you noticed in your trash collection. And meanwhile, I'll tell you about mine, or what was in my trash audit. Mainly, you know, normal things, but you know, some things that kind of stood out, like this is not normal in my trash, but blah, blah, blah. Like I had a tiny perfume bottle. I don't wear perfume, so this is not a normal thing, but somebody gave it to me as a gift and I didn't want to waste it, so I just used it a little at a time. And I finally finished it, but it was like a little plastic thing, so I threw that away. And finished a shampoo bottle this week, so I had to change the shampoo bottle. Medicine packet. The bread bag, when you buy bread at the grocery store and all bread comes in a bag, that thing. Yeah, I mean, most of it is food related stuff, like food packages and like the plastic outer wrap of everything edible, and stuff like that. So I'm not too surprised because this is my 3rd time doing a trash audit, and I know that it's mostly food related stuff that has to get thrown away. But I mean, there were some like non-food stuff too, like the outer wrap of toilet paper packs or paper towel packages, stuff like that. I guess when I think about, you know, because, you know, like the whole point of doing this activity is so that you collect some data about what's happening and kind of get an idea of what it is that you're throwing away, so that you can, you know, take action on some things if you want to. And, you know, it's just impossible to take action on something that you don't know about. So I've been trying to think about, ever since I did my first 2 trash audits, you know, food and food items is the pretty big culprit for a lot of stuff I end up throwing away. And so I think I've been trying to think about ways that I can decrease my food related trash. One example is like the bread bag. Pretty much every bread thing that you buy at the grocery store, it comes in a bag. And as a solution, I thought of 2 solutions for this if I wanted to stop having bread bag trash. I can make my own bread. I don't know how to make my own bread, but I do want to learn once I'm able to find yeast in the grocery store again, because I still can't. And so, you know, that'd be pretty cool to learn how to make my own bread. And then, you know, maybe if I get pretty good at it and I kind of make some sort of, you know, if I kind of build a rhythm around making bread, then I can just always have my own stock of bread, and I wouldn't have to buy bread at the grocery store. The other alternative, you know, because maybe I don't always have time to be making bread every week or something, is, you know, local bakeries that they make bread so that they can sell their bread to people. And like a bakery that I know of that makes like actual like loaves of bread, like artisan bread, is Backhouse. It's a cafe, bakery cafe in downtown San Mateo. And like for their packaging, they have paper bags. So like they would put the bread or whatever pastries you're getting in a paper bag, and so it's, you know, totally compostable or recyclable, whichever you want to do. So like that's an option too. I could support my local bakery and get bread without, you know, stuff that I have to throw away. I do know that it is a bit expensive to buy from, you know, some bakeries, some of your local bakeries. So yeah, I do recognize that there's a little bit of a privilege that comes with, you know, being able to A, have the time to make your own bread, or B, have the money to buy bread from local bakeries. But those are the solutions that I've come up with that I want to start pursuing. The whole COVID-19 kind of threw a wrench in my plan to like start, you know, making my own bread or going to bakeries and stuff like that. But, you know, when the restrictions start lifting and I'm able to go to food places again, I do want to start kind of trying to find my local bakeries, or at the farmers markets, and support my local bread makers, and maybe become a bread maker myself. Yeah, I've also just sort of recognized that if I want to have snacks that don't generate trash, you know, like the snack packaging or whatever, that probably means that I have to make my own snacks, which was a little saddening to think about, like, all that work. But I mean, that's okay. I think if I just take it in like pretty, like, you know, manageable, like do one thing at a time. Like I made my own tortilla chips a few days ago for Cinco de Mayo. And so, you know, like I could learn how to make different tortilla chips, and then, you know, instead of buying a bag of tortilla chips, I'll just make my own tortilla chips. Yeah, so kind of just starting small and just trying not to get too overwhelmed by, you know, it's not like I tell myself, oh my gosh, I have to make everything. I just kind of try to approach it like, you know, it'll be kind of fun to learn how to make tortilla chips. And then once I realize, hey, I can actually make this, then it sort of motivates me to, like, at least, like, you know, I can think, like, I don't need to buy tortilla chips at the grocery store because I can just make my own. Let's see. So, anyone else besides Stella do your trash audit? And if you did, what did you find in your trash audit? I had one person from 5th period say that her sister drank 26 cans of LaCroix during the 1 week of their trash audit. No? No one else? Okay. Did anyone have any questions about the part of the trash audit analysis, if you're like maybe still in the middle of it or whatever, where I'm asking you to like determine a rate of trash for the year? Because I know I left it kind of vague, a little open-ended, but I'm just wondering if there are any questions about it, or if it was still kind of tricky. I didn't do a rate because I don't know. I didn't feel like it, and I was looking at it like right before 5th period. But really, the units of your rate, they change depending on what it is that you want to make your rate about. So that girl that had the sister that drank 26 LaCroix cans, she on the chat earlier today, she said like my rate is 1,350 something cans of LaCroix a year being thrown away, or well, they're recyclable, so recycled. But yeah, so it can, if you find that you have a lot of stuff in your trash audit, I mean, when I say a lot of stuff, a lot of the same item, like cans of something or whatever, you could say like, hey, I just want to know how many of this particular item am I throwing away a year or whatever. I had another student in 5th period, she did it by trash bags. So she's like 1.5 full trash bags in a week. So then she extrapolated that to like 78 trash bags in a year. Something like that. And I think sometimes it's just helpful to know like, hey, this is how much you are contributing to trash, over a year or something like that. Okay, well, if you haven't done it, I hope you do it at some point. It doesn't have to be like during the semester, because the semester's kind of ending. But I really think that it's just interesting to kind of, I don't know, notice this about your life. Any of the activities that like in this unit, they can always be done again later, multiple times. And especially the one we're going to do on Monday, we're going to be looking at clothes, because I think that it's just a fun activity. I hope you could just look at it like, hey, this might be interesting. Just be curious about it, and not think of it like, oh, this is a school assignment. Like, I really just chose it because I thought it would be something fun and interesting to throw in at the end. Kind of like look at your clothes and stuff like that. So, as best you can, I hope that you just, I don't know, be more curious than like, oh, I have to do this because it's worth 10 points or whatever. And alternatively, like, in the summer or whatever, when you feel like you can safely go grocery shopping and not like just try to run in and get out, I would just kind of pay attention to your local grocery store and like try to notice like how easy or hard it is to find anything to buy that's like not involved with plastic. It's really difficult. And I would have loved to give an assignment that was like, go explore your grocery store, blah blah blah. But like, the shelter in place, I didn't want to like send you outside or anything. But one of the things I wanted you to notice is, especially through like the trash audit, is that it's really, really hard to not have like plastic involved with your food stuff. Like, the systems in place for our modern day food supply and everything, like, they are really against us in terms of like, if you're trying to be sustainable, if you're trying to be environmentally friendly, it's really, really hard. Like, the systems don't make it easy. And so one of the things that we, one of the reasons it's important to know that is because, like, if it feels like it's hard, it's because it is hard, so that, you shouldn't feel discouraged, like, oh, it's so difficult to, like, be environmentally friendly. It is difficult. Like, every time you try to do something environmentally friendly, you're really, like, waging this uphill battle against the natural flow of society. Because society nowadays, it's just, plastic is everywhere, plastic is ubiquitous. Yeah, it's really, really, really hard. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's like encouraging, so that like you don't feel like discouraged when it feels difficult or like an uphill battle. But I also recognize that a lot of this may just be going over your head right now, because you're kind of in this zone of like, I'm just trying to like survive and get done with this, and I'm done with distance learning. So I totally get that. So, in the summer, maybe when you're a little more chilled out, maybe you can think back to this unit and be curious later. Okay, we have a little bit of time, so you can ask me anything about my life, my weird life, my narwhal, or if you suddenly thought of a question about what the rest of the semester is going to look like, how it's going to play out, stuff like that, feel free to ask away. Questions? 0 questions, 0 things that you're confused about. I think they've San Mateo County has recently just opened a bunch of trails and parks, so you can start, going outside, going on some trails. Hopefully it doesn't get too crowded, but it's gonna be pretty nice weather this weekend, I think. So maybe try to hit a trail or go visit a park and eat outside or something like that, if there aren't a lot of people. You guys are so quiet. When did I get my narwhal? I got her shortly after I came home from, like, when I graduated college, so that was about 2 years ago-ish. Not a little less than 2 years ago, because I graduated college 2018, so the summer of 2018. One of my really good friends, he saw it on Amazon, and then he was like, "Oh, Kiana would love this," and so he bought it and gave it to me when I got home from college. Yeah, her name is Narzi. I didn't name her that though. That's the name she came with, because she had like a little name tag and it said Narzi on it. So I was like, okay. The description of Narzi says, "I am Narzi the narwhal. I am simple and polite, but slightly mysterious." She only has one other marine friend, which is a manatee stuffed animal named Barbara. But I don't think I've included Barbara in any of my videos so far. Maybe next week. I'll bring Barbara out next week. Oh yeah, and you have a quiz on Monday. I mean, I'm sure you've seen that in the agenda if you've been looking at the agenda, but in case you haven't, you should just know that you have a quiz on Monday. It's going to be similar to the first one, 10 points. Just make sure you do it and give it an actual honest try at it. It's just going to be on the last 2 lectures, so the one where you had to take notes, the notes were called Living Unsustainably, and then the notes that were titled Pollution and Waste, it's those 2 lectures. So that's where all the questions are going to come from. So that'll be Monday. It's your last quiz until finals. How's your guys' stress level doing? Is it like, has it changed like over time, where like you've gotten more and more stressed because, you know, the shelter in place just kept getting extended longer and longer than you thought it would be? Or maybe you're just kind of, you've acclimated now, so you're you're kind of just chilling, but you were maybe more stressed at the beginning because it was like, what is happening? Or maybe you've just been kind of neutral the whole time. Stella is good. Awesome. Glad to see that the Bulbasaur icon is back. Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that Stella's doing good. I'm just gonna assume that the rest of you are okay. I would say that I am getting probably more restless, more agitated, because I really want to go out and do stuff like go to brunch, go hiking, stuff like that. But I think like definitely what has been kind of keeping me sane is like working out. I've been following like this calendar, and I just started this workout challenge, I guess. It's like each week of May has a different 1 week challenge, and the one for this week is abs, which sucks because like I hate abs workouts more than any other kind of workout. Like any other part of the body, like arms, back, legs, whatever, it's fine. I'm good with it. I even kind of like feeling that like burning sensation when your muscles are like tiring out, because like I don't know, it just kind of feels like, oh, pain is weakness leaving the body kind of thing. But with abs, it's like, no, it's just pain. That's it. It's just suffering. So I always hate it. And yeah, after I finish this with you guys, I have to go do my workout of the day. Kind of dreading it. I've been like so sore. So like every day I'm just like working out and I'm super sore and I'm feeling like my muscles like it feels like they're creaking, like they're old hinges creaking. Okay, well, since it looks like no one else has any questions or anything that you want to say, alright, we can call it a day for today. Next Thursday is my last time live streaming with you. Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know, Stella. Yeah, so next Thursday, that's my last day with you, because after that, Mr. Wang is going to come back for the last 2 weeks, so you'll be live streaming him. Yeah, so just wanted to give you a heads up about that. Okay. Notebook check. Is it required to draw pictures for the lecture? No, you don't have to draw. I mean, like, you kind of depending on what's happening in the notes, it may be like helpful to kind of like very roughly sketch something, like if you're trying to label a diagram, you know, but like, you know, it's okay if you're kind of just taking notes directly into your notebook. Any more last minute questions? Okay, well, in that case, I mean, you can always email me. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. I'll see you Thursday. I am gonna go die now with my workout. Okay, bye.